وبركاته. نحن مسرورا جدا اليوم عندنا ليس ضيف ولكن أستاذنا المحترم من المملكة العربية السعودية، أستاذ السليم. هو سيتكلم الآن عن بلاده، عن الثقافة وممكن السياسة والطعام وطبعا الكلاب وكلها كل شيء. وطبعا هو قال إنه يريد أسئلة صعبة جدا.
But you will help me.
أعرف شيء. شكرا جزيلا. We are very privileged to have our distinguished Fulbright teacher here with us, Ustad Salim. He's going to tell you all about Saudi Arabia, and he said there's no question that you can stump him with that he is not prepared for today.
Well, you have to say no. You have to say yes. But who is going to answer these questions? Of course, Dr. David. Mr. David.
شكرا.
شكرا أستاذ داوود. السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام.
I decided to start with the greeting in the Arab word. Maybe some of you, they didn't understand what does it mean, Assalamu alaikum. But for us, it's so important. It's the word that we say it each time that we meet somebody. Whether that person, I know him or her, or I didn't meet him before. What does it mean, Assalam? So, anybody knows Salam when I say the Assalamu alaikum? What does it mean, this word? Any idea about it? Maverick?
Peace.
Peace. So this is the greeting that we have. It's the word of peace. What do you want from me when I meet you, Karen? That's the thing that I have to tell you, which is my wishing. Assalamu alaikum, my wishing for peace to you. Even though that we are coming from different countries, but the thing that I have for all humanity, which is people to live in peace. Whether that peace, people to be away from war, or finding the inner peace that all of us, we are seeking for it. So that was the introduction and the secret for the word that I started to put it on the poster, which is the word salam. And I'm sure one of the things which is gathering us now, which is salam. When you look at Saudi Arabia, you think that the people, they are the same. There are no differences between them. But if you focus at this map, which indicates there are some differences, small details make a huge difference. What do you think the differences that you can see between the different regions? In which part? Is it the religion? Do you think the religion is one of them? The language, maybe the dialect, so this is one of them. But the religion, Saudis, let's say 99% are Muslims. And one of the things that we are going to notice through this presentation, which is the building there, the houses, what is the material used, for example, in the middle part of Saudi Arabia. But if you go to the south part, you can notice they are, using different materials. So this is a hint for the differences that you can put it in your mind while you are looking to Saudi Arabia. The first thing, which is we are going to talk and introduce here, which is the importance of Saudi Arabia. Why people nowadays, they think that Saudi Arabia is important. So for us, it started for a long years ago. It started from the time that our Prophet Abraham with his son, when they rebuilt Al-Kaaba. So it gets the importance from the religion. And nowadays, while I'm talking to you, a big number of Muslims, they are praying, no matter where they are. If they are in the United States or in China, they are praying toward Al-Kaaba, toward Mecca. So that's the importance of Mecca. So it's getting from the religion. We'll talk later on about the economic part, but religion is so important for us. And one of the miracles that we have a special type of water, which is called Zamzam water. And until now, we can find this well, and this water didn't end from this time of the Prophet. And we can call our Prophet Muhammad, say it's kind of cure. If you drink it, you can cure yourself from so many type of diseases. God decided when God see people, they are lost, of course, He sent them prophet to change their life, to make them better people, and sent the last prophet. And Prophet Muhammad came to change these things. At the beginning, when he started with his message in Mecca, the people who are around him and his relative, his uncle, they didn't believe in him and starting to attack him, which made him to decide moving from Mecca to another city, which is another important city for us. It's in the northern part of Saudi Arabia. Did you heard of this city? Have an idea about it? What we call it? You know, most of you know Mecca, but how about the second city, which the Prophet moved to it? It's called Medina. And this is part of the mosque that you are going to visit, but only just if you are what? If you are Muslim. So you can't enter the Holy Mosque in Mecca or in Medina, only just if you are Muslim. So if you notice this is the grave of our Prophet, From that time, the life of the people and the number of Muslims start to increase. And they have to do so many things, like they have to pray and they have to fast in Ramadan. So we have to pray 5 times per day. And this has helped us, not only just focusing on life. And we remember, there is another life, the permanent life. So you have to work for this life from here. And putting in your mind the spiritual part. So it's not only just thinking of work, thinking of money. This is life. No, there is another part, which is you have to focus on it in order to make the balance that you need. So during our prayer, so we have to recite some verses from the Holy Quran. Some of them may be talking about Jesus and his mother Maria, or about Moses. So this is also, it's to remind us of the nation who lived before us. Different story we learn. We didn't saw those people, but through the Holy Quran we understand more about our ancestor and about how was this life, why we are here. All these questions we can find the answer of them. At the same time, we believe that in Christianity and Judaism, so it's not only just for Islam, because all of them, they are connected to the same God. So these are examples of the verses of the Holy Quran that you can recite. And this is getting from Joseph, verses talking about Prophet Joseph and his story here. And through that, the Saudi government knows the importance of this council. So we are serving the 2 holy mosques. So the people who are coming each year from different places around the world, we are helping them. We didn't want money from them, only just we ask God for forgiveness. And that's why you can see the government paying a lot of money on the 2 holy mosques. It's a kingdom which is called Nabatean Kingdom in a city close to Al-Medina. It's not far away from Al-Medina. And this city called Al-Ula. If you look through the picture and the images that I bought, maybe you saw something similar to it in Jordan, especially students who traveled before to Jordan, maybe they will notice something about it. Look at this. There was a prophet who sent to this city, Al-Ula. His name was Saleh. And what do you notice special about this? It's the special point here. They used to build their houses where? In mountains, which is something, amazing. How did they do that? So, Prophet Saleh, he was trying to make people to believe in God, but at this time, they refused. And you can find something else which is mentioned in the Holy Quran. If you go to the south of Saudi Arabia, in a city called Najran, Najran is so popular when you're talking about religion. People of Najran, they believe at the beginning when God sent Moses in Judaism, and later on when God sent Jesus, they changed their religion to Christianity. But the king who ruled Najran, he was angry because he was, people changing their religion to Christianity at this time. And what did he do? He burned all of them alive. And later on, the people of Najran, there was an amazing message sent by our prophet to those Christian people and telling them that I'm here only just to give you peace. And we are on the same page with Prophet Jesus, and those people start to turn to Islam after they see the thing from our prophet. Let's talk about the recent history. The person who unified this country, his name was King Abdulaziz. Some people, they were into different tribes, they were against each other, they are trying to save themselves, they suffered a lot from poverty and so many bad things. But nowadays, after the deed that he did, their life is now different. People in Saudi Arabia, they live a modern life, and that was one of the best thing that he did, King Abdulaziz, make people, all of them, to live together, to have a great future for the young generation. And if you put this in your mind and knowing more about the people, how did they suffer in the past, it will lead you to understand the behavior of the people in Saudi Arabia. And nowadays, who is ruling Saudi Arabia after King Abdulaziz died for a long time ago? So we have his son. His son is King Salman. So the royal family, they have to decide a king to rule Saudi Arabia. And in the previous years, it should be a son of King Abdulaziz. But the new point nowadays, we have it in Saudi Arabia, that most of the sons of the king, they die. And this situation, the royal family, what they have to do? They think of, making something different. So which is giving a chance to the new generation. And one of them who is going to be the king in the upcoming years. And maybe you heard about his name in the news. So that King Salman, so the government and the king, he deals with the Saudi citizen as if he is our father. So they give us whatever we want, so they are helping for everything that we need, even though in the past we didn't have taxes, we didn't need to pay money for the government. So we are happy in our life. But if you think that will continue in the future, this is the question that people, they start to ask. And as you see, people around the world, they are looking for the king as an important person. And I'm so proud to bring, that's with you for our king with Vladimir Putin, the Russian president, because I'm studying Russian course and I have to put my touch, because nowadays I'm thinking and trying to speak inside my mind in Russian to make more a practice. So that's one of the important things that our king do. But how about the future? If that king, in that, I hope so that what happens, but if he dies, so how the Saudi they are going to deal? Because in the United States you have election, you have to choose your president, which is something completely different here, the royal family. And what's the future? Because I'm talking about all the sons of that King Abdulaziz, most of them died. Now, which is the new thing which is occurred through the last 3 years, the Saudi Vision 2030. We have the Crown Prince. The Crown Prince, his name is Mohammed bin Salman. He is the son of King Salman. So he is one of the young generation. And now he is the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, which means the future is going to be the king. And which is a completely different step from what people used to. And Mohammed bin Salman, he studied in the United States, so he had a different type of education, and he looked for the things differently, whether people, they agree with him or not. But he is interested to make a change, to make a government. So in the past, we rely on our father, the king, but nowadays, Saudis, they have to pay taxes, which we don't know, which is something new, but he thinks this is the country should be like. So in order to be in a country, you have to pay money, you have to be active. In order to gain money, you have to give. So that's one of the things. And through his visit to United States, he met the biggest company in technology, with Mark Zuckerberg, and you name it, all the companies. And they are going to open, some of these companies in the United States. For example, he's planning as a kind of entertainment, Six Flags to open in Saudi Arabia. So he is interested to make the change. And one of the things that he's going to do, a new city, which is depending on robots. This city called Neom. It's in the northern part of Saudi Arabia. So this video, it shows that his dream, his vision.
اقتصاد اكبر مما نحن فيه اليوم، كيف نخلق بيئه جذابه وجيده ورائعه في وطننا، كيف نكون بفريق
He's not talking about only Saudi Arabia.
يساهم في تنميه الحراك العالم.
He's talking about the whole world. How to be, people who are helping other people and adding something to humanity. So that's his vision that he's trying to do. Whether he is going to do it or not, but you can find some of the point that he mentioned, which is people, they want this change nowadays. Especially when the big number of Saudis now, they are well education, they are get a chance to study here in the United States, and this year around 66,000 Saudi they are studying in the United States. So when they came back to Saudi Arabia, of course, they want to make a change, they want to add something, they want to get opportunity. And they hope so that they can get through the vision of Mohammed bin Salman, who is the crown prince. And by the way, some of the subjects that I mentioned, I asked some of the students who are attending the Arabic club. So I get, for example, the vision of 2030 and about Mohammed Salman from Savannah. Savannah asked me about that person. So that's one of the things, and hopefully that I solved and answered your question. Now we'll talk about some of the city, the capital city of Saudi Arabia, which is Riyadh. And it's a modern city, of course. Nowadays, people, they live, the modern life, they have cars, and of course, as you see, people, they have their own life at night, even in the morning. And not only that, we still have our history, and we didn't forget our identity. This is the National Museum, which is called the Masmak. You can go there and know more about the Saudi history in general. And if you decided to visit Saudi Arabia, what is the best time if you want to go there? I will ask you, it's February, the good time to go there. Why? Because there is a special festival. And what is that festival? This festival is called Al-Junadriya, where you can know so many things about the different region of Saudi Arabia in one place, about the custom, about the food, about what people they wear, how they help other, about women, whatever you want. And you can try these things. You want to wear abaya, you want to do something riding a camel, all these things you can do it in one place. So Al-Junadriya is a good opportunity for any person to go there. And if you want to eat some of the traditional food from an area which is north part of Saudi Arabia, but you can go to the north part, you can go to Al-Junadriya in Riyadh. So that's one of the things. You can try so many things. For example, Al-Burqa, which is, it's an old one. People, they used to wear it in the past, but you can know more about the people. This is the thing people, they used to wear in the southern part of Saudi Arabia. So you can try all these things. Another city, which is I like, whatever I can talk about this city, and I love it. I can't, explain my love. And do you know what is that city? Imagine. What? Jeddah. So Jeddah, some people, they pronounce it like that. It's called the Gate of Mecca. It's on the coast of the Red Sea. It's the second biggest city in Saudi Arabia. It's my city that I lived in, and I'm going back to this city. And the importance of Jeddah is getting from the name, the Gate of Mecca. So you can see how the sea affected our life. People in the past, they used to go for for spending a good time on the beach, and tried to prevent some enemies from entering Saudi Arabia. And one of the things that I'm going to talk about it related to the food, in the past the Portuguese, they tried to attack Saudi Arabia. And if you go to the historical area, the historical bar, you can find the canons, you can find the story, listen to the stories of people talking about that. These are some of the foods that you can eat it in Saudi Arabia. You know, so many things. For example, this is sarig, which is different type of rice. You can eat it with chicken. So we like rice so much. And this indicates the importance of family in Saudi Arabia, how we should be together, and how the family is the thing that we have to keep it in our mind, because nobody loves you more than your mother and your father. So you have to put it in your mind. So that's the food that you can find there. And the food is different from an area to another part. And this is my favorite food, which is, we call it mubattah, we call it hanid. So we can bring a lamb with rice. We can invite so many people and enjoy the conversation. And, you know, when you have somebody came to your house, you have to do something like that. You have to bring the lamb for him or for her, so which is show that your generosity. It's so important to show that generosity, which is part of the thing that we like to do. We have to pay money. We don't care about money, but this is part of the thing that we like to do. So I know to some of you they like this. I would like to bring it in actual life, but you know, we are here in the United States and it's not so easy to do these things. The southern region part, I talk about Najran and the people who converted from Judaism and Christianity. If you look at their houses in Najran and Abha, it's made of stone. While in Riyadh, if you notice, it's made of mud. So this is one of the differences you can notice, because here they used to live in mountains. So that's for Najran. And they have different type of stands, and you can notice they are using different colors in the decoration, which indicate those people, they are from the southern part. So we know it directly. So this is about the honey. It's so important for this area. You can find them. And what else we have? We have that part. I know some of you, they are waiting to talk about this section, which is about what? About women, yeah. So what was the title I decided to put here? Women between religion and tradition. Because people, and this is I will talk about my understanding. So people, they get confused. Is that the thing they are doing, is it related to Islam? Is it part of the traditions? So if you put it in your mind, maybe you can find the answer. For me, women, they are, I can say, the reason why I'm here. Without my mother, I wouldn't be able to do everything. I wouldn't be able to exist in this life. So that's why we have to appreciate that women, what they are doing. No matter, you can hear a lot of things about women in media, but the first person to talk about herself, of course, if I can prefer to bring a woman from Saudi Arabia to talk about everything about her life, which is, of course, amazing and better. But if you look at the changes which has occurred in the last year, the women start to get more rights. They start to get their rights to drive car, which is they are going to start in the upcoming months. So they are preparing themselves, which car I have to buy. So, which is something amazing. They participate in the Olympic Games, and now they're getting more rights. And still, of course, no matter, I can talk about that, everyone wants more rights for women or men in every place in this world. But there's a section, if you notice here, part of Saudi Arabia, most of the events, or even in university or school, we try to separate men and women. If you notice the picture, even though they are working, you notice there's always just women. And this is part of the privacy that we have. And the women, if you talk to them, most of them, they are happy for this privacy. Even they are going to the gym, they can see in front of them only just women. But there are some places, like the hospital, no, you can find men and women working together. So this is one of the things that you notice, women, they are in the other side, and men, they are in the right side. And this is in general about women. Whatever I can say, now they are well educated. In the past, they didn't get their right for education, but nowadays they are doing well, and sometimes they achieve a lot of good things for Saudi Arabia. Do you have any question about women in Saudi Arabia before we move? There is no, which is, we'll keep it later if you have a question about one of these points. So the government start to make or focusing on entertainment for Saudis, because Saudis in the past, they have money, and they used to pay a lot of this money on traveling, going outside Saudi Arabia. So Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, he think of this point. So he started to make a lot of activities. And one of the things that related to entertainment, Saudis, they like soccer so much. Not the football that America like, they like soccer. And this is getting from the final match of the World Cup qualification. So it was against Japan, and we won, and we qualified to the World Cup again in Russia. So the first match we'll play against Russia, and I hope so that we can win. I don't know what I can say, who is going to win, Russia or the Saudis, but this is also, it shows the Saudis how they like football in general. It's not only just football or soccer, it's not only soccer, there are so many activities the young generation they like to do, which is the drifting, and they love it so much if you go there. Some of them, they are crazy about it. And also the art, which is part of our, part of our culture, using calligraphy, and there are a different type of, different number of artists who are participating and making galleries, and even that calligraphy is used in a huge places in mosques, which is a lovely art that we have and connected to our language, which is the Arabic language. The last thing, I know I talked a lot because I have a lot of information, but I try to give you a hint about so many points in Saudi Arabia. The last thing, we are talking about our friends. And who are they? And why I am telling you they are our friends. Who are they, Barker?
The American.
The American. Why? Can you guess why? Is it only just because I want to say they are our friends?
We have a lot of shared interests in the region. We have a lot of cooperation between us, dating back decades.
Yeah, which is going to the history, to the past, and related to King Abdulaziz, who unified Saudi Arabia. We'll go to this point. So at this time, Saudis, they suffered a lot from poverty, from a lot of bad things. Tribes, they are going to attack each other. King Abdulaziz unifies Saudi Arabia. But at this time, Saudi Arabia is still a poor country. It's not so rich. And what was the surprise for the Saudis? They discover what? The oil. At this time, who helped us to discover oil? The British at this time was the most powerful, country at this time in this area. But did they help us? About the history, did they help? No. Who helped us? The American. Excellent, Mumtaz. So he's going to answer the question again. So the American helped us so much, especially for discovering oil. And what is the result of that on the Saudis? It has changed a lot. From poverty, from people suffering, from when I talked to my grandfather, he was telling me that they stay for days without eating food. Can you believe it? So after oil, discovering of oil, we have now one of the biggest company for oil, which is called Aramco, and which is established by the Saudis with the help of the American. And nowadays, the Saudis, they won't forget this. No matter what's happened between the relationship between the governments, but we still inside ourselves know that the American, they did something good for us. And if you meet some of the people who are still alive, who worked with the American and worked in Aramco 40 years ago, you can talk with them in English, but if you can ask them to write something in English, they won't be able to do, because they only just learn English through the conversation with the American engineers. And the last thing, each year we have presidents from different places around the world. They visited Saudi Arabia. But talking about a president from the United States who's going to visit Saudi Arabia, it's a completely different story. No matter whose responsibility of the America to choose who's that president, you like Trump or Obama, but we are dealing with that president who represents the American the same way. So they came and danced this special dance which is called the Al-Arda, and this is Al-Arda which shows that the victory of King Abdulaziz. So that's why the Saudis still and believe and won't forget that thing for the American. Nowadays, if you go to the social media, you can find some of the American who speaks Arabic and they live in the Arab world and Saudi Arabia, and nowadays they are so popular, and we call them, they are Saudis, they are not American, they are part of us. And I hope so that some of you who are studying Arabic or only just interested in Saudi Arabia in the future to visit Saudi Arabia and to understand more the people there. And this is the thing the language is going to do, to build the bridges with the other people. Thank you very much. If you have any question, we can ask who? David.
How did you get to bowling?
Bowling Green, it's through a program called Fulbright, and this program, they choose teachers from different countries around the world. For me, I'm an English language teacher in Saudi Arabia, so they asked me to apply through Ministry of Education if you want to go and to live this experience. In the past, I say to myself, I don't want to go outside Saudi Arabia. It's not the time, because I already did something good in Saudi Arabia, and I didn't feel that I need to change. But there is something last year I said I have to have a look about the United States. Despite that, I know more about the United States through the movies, through the media, and this is the thing that when I come here, it's the same impression that I have. The Americans, they are amazing people, they are welcoming, and even when I come here, I find the same thing. And that's why Saudis, they prefer to study in the United States. So I give this a chance, and I'm so lucky to meet a person like you, Max. And it will be an experience that I won't forget. And when I go back to Saudi Arabia, of course, I will reflect everything that I saw here in the United States. I will be happy that if I get another chance to come here again, continue my education, get a degree, will be awesome. But at the end of the day, this is life. It has a start, it has an end. But the most important thing during this time, what are the things that you are going to add? Do you think the people remember you as a good person or a bad person? So this is the most important thing for me. Yes, Avon.
How long are you here for?
From August 2017. So, and I'm going to stay here until the end of May. It's only 1 year, but I won't forget you, Avon, like what I said to Max. Yeah, because people there, they means a lot. And during the winter break, I got a tour around the United States. You know, going to New York, going to these beautiful cities. I know it's beautiful, but for me, it's not the thing that I am seeking for it. I'm seeking to talk with people, to know more about them, and getting that, at the end of the day, we share a lot in common. The feelings that we had, the feeling that, as I said from the beginning, the peace for all humanity.
About Crown Prince, since I know he's got his 2030 vision, but since King Salman is still in power, what is the Crown Prince's role? Can he make active decisions in the government, or does he have to wait until he's the king?
You can't imagine if your father is the king.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Of course, your father will look at you differently from any person else. At the same time, he is not the crown prince only. He is the minister of the defense, so, which is one of the most powerful ministry in Saudi Arabia. So.
How hot is it?
Oh, for us, we are familiar with it. But if you are going there, the best time to go is now in February and March. But if you are going in August, it will be difficult for you to go there. So you will not enjoy. A big number of Saudis, they travel outside Saudi Arabia. So it's still hot. Yes, feel free to ask. Savannah?
Do women have to wear hijab when they go to Saudi Arabia?
You notice that from some of the picture, one of the women, she is not wearing the hijab, but abaya, which is in black, and nowadays they have so many designers, they change the color, they add their touches on it. You have to wear it, but it's the question that about women. Should women cover their hair? In Islam, there are people that are talking about covering your hair and your face, and there are people talking only just covering your hair. But if there is a non-Muslim who is going to visit Saudi Arabia, going to Riyadh, going to Ajnadriya, so if she wants to keep her hair, nobody will talk with her. But at least she has to wear abaya. And it's, for some of women wearing abaya, I do not care about what I have to wear. I have to wear the abaya. I'm going outside of my house, going to the mall, whatever I want. So sometimes they feel it's so simple for them. Yes, and
What about marriages? Are they arranged or people can choose?
That's one of the questions that in the past it was so difficult to choose. For example, your parents, when you were child, say 9 years, so you are going to get married this lady. So you grow up until you get the time of age. At this time, you didn't have choice. You have to get married with this lady. But if you can ask her or ask him if he wants or not, they didn't give their opinion. This is the thing decided because this is the result. Because people in the past, I talk about suffer, they didn't get education. But nowadays, the education, it's make people different. And you can now communicate with women, and you can choose whoever you want to be engaged to. Nobody can force you to do anything like what occurred in the past. And this is something which is important because this is my life. Don't force me to get married with a woman that I don't know her, or I didn't find any chemistry between me and her, or she is doing the same thing. And this is part of the tradition. It's not related to the religion. So put it in your mind. The tradition saying that you have to get married this lady. You didn't have to say no. But our religion, it forces you to have a look. And even that she is covering her face with hijab, you have to look at her first. And she can look at you. And later on, both of you have to decide. So if you look at Islam and if you look at the tradition, they are completely different. Thank you for that question.
Do y'all eat American food? Like, we have Arabic restaurants, y'all have American restaurants.
This is the first thing when I came to Bowling Green. I remember the time he was taking us from the airport from Nashville. While he was driving us, I have a lot to ride on the left. I'm in Jeddah. I'm not in Bowling Green. We have the same. Most of the restaurants that I founded here, we have it. So Cheesecake Factory in Nashville, and the one which I talk about, IHOP, Applebee's, most of them, McDonald's, you name it. So KFC, which is because you are in Kentucky, so we have the same. And yeah. So I didn't feel a big change for me. Some of the point which is related, for example, to the adhan, listening to the adhan, this is one of the things that I miss. But in general, it's the normal life. We have a modern life in Saudi Arabia, and that's the answer for that question.
Is there something you come to like over in America that you'd like to take back? Anything particular?
Actually, I will take the love for the American with me, and this is the thing that will last with me more than any material or anything else.
That means your love.
Thank you, thank you.
Perception of the United States Americans change after the election anyway? Like the American election?
People nowadays, they knows that politics in general, it's not safe. So nowadays you have a president, we know that president in one day will go and move, and like Obama, nowadays he is at home. So we focus more on the people. And some of them, they didn't care about politics in general.
Are you excited for the 2030 vision?
I'm not 100% excited. I'm not so glad about it. So we don't know what will happen in the future, because the area in the Middle East, it's not a good place for changing. Nowadays, the war everywhere. If you go to Syria, if you go to the south part of Saudi Arabia, the only thing that I have is hope. No matter who is the person who's going to change, but I have hope and believing that we have an amazing future, and this bright future, I'm sure that it will happen for the people of this area. They suffered a lot, even though in Saudi Arabia we live in an amazing life, but people around us, and we can't be happy and seeing people in Syria and in Iraq and Yemen, they didn't get their rights. They are killing each other, which is so bad. But the future will be amazing, no matter who is the person who is going to make the change, but the change is coming.
What do you think about, do you know who Mohammed Suhaima, I think his name is, Mohammed Suhaima?
The journalist?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Did you read about him
journalist.
recently?
Yeah,
What do
he
you think
was.
about his comments?
Yeah, one of the journalists before a week ago, he was talking about Adhan, the call of prayer that you heard. He said we didn't need to listen to this. So people, they go to pray without listening to it. So it is his opinion. But for us and most of the Saudi, they believe this is part of us and this is what our Prophet did. So calling for prayer is so important. So no matter whatever he said, and hopefully this is wouldn't change, but you can listen to people to talk. But the majority of Saudi Arabia, they think Islam is the best thing for us. So why you have to change it? Despite as a person, we have to read and you have to get more idea about whatever you want, to be open-minded. But at the same time, if that thing provides the happiness for us, why I have to change it?